What's up, guys? Today we are finally going to be repainting my bumper. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen this more with my gray bumper. But ever since I got the car, it had front bumper damage, and I've gone back and forth fixing it several times and repainting it several times. And I've never really done it right, and I was just going to have it painted professionally, but that ended up being way more expensive than I thought it would be with the price of materials and stuff right now. So I spent probably what is about $60 or $70 here on paint, and I'm going to paint it myself. This is just some Rust-Oleum flat white that I'm going to use as like a base coat, because this Duplicolor color match paint has terrible coverage. So I got 3 cans, and hopefully that'll be enough. But I'm going to start with painting the whole bumper with this. I was just going to do like a half paint and then blend it up, but I decided that would be too difficult, so I'm just going to paint the whole bumper, and hopefully it matches. I've used this paint before, and it's pretty much a perfect match, so we're just going to roll with that, hopefully. So this is Duplicolor Oxford White. Just got it at my local auto store. You can also, I also got, I think, a couple cans online, but it's like 10 bucks a can. It's not cheap. It's not the best paint in the world, but if you heat it up with a heater, it kind of lays down a little bit better. And this Rust-Oleum 2X paint is great. That stuff has great coverage, so I'm just going to get a nice coat of that, and I'm just going to do full, just wet coats all the way until it's finished. I'm not going to let it dry and sand it. I've already done that. I've already done body work and sanded it and primed it and all that. And I'll show you that in a second, because I'm going to go sand it outside because it has not been sanded yet. And then for the clear coat, I am using the Spray Max 2K Clear, which this stuff is great. You have to push this red thing in the bottom and mix in the clear, but this stuff works way better than any other canned clear coat, because the hardener mixing in with the actual clear coat makes it lay down much nicer and give you a much more durable finish. And I've had the best luck with this stuff. It usually looks amazing. It's this clear glamour stuff. It's like self-leveling. And I got 2 cans of this because I'm going to want to wet sand the bumper to make the paint look as good as the rest of the car. So I want to have a nice thick layer of clear on there so that I don't accidentally go through it, since sanding it will be hard. But also, I'm also thinking that possibly just the 2 cans of clear might actually make it look good enough to avoid wet sanding, which I will definitely do if at all possible. So let's go ahead and look at the car and then get started sanding. So here's the bumper. I'm going to sand it still on the car and then take it off and finish sanding the edges and everything, just because it'll be easier while it's up on the car to get all these parts over here. And then I'm probably gonna have to tape off these little rubber things, and then I'm gonna take this carbon badge off and try to take the Ford badge off underneath if I can, because there's some scratches here from the previous owner who put stripes on this and did a terrible job. And then I'm also going to try to take off this black plastic piece so I don't have to worry about paint getting on it and having to tape it off. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the sander and just sand this whole thing down with some 320 grit, and then I'll take it off the car and bring it in there, and we'll finish it up and start cleaning it and get it ready for paint. Okay, so the bumper is off the car. I was able to get the full Ford badge off. I was able to get the little rubber pads off, and I also got the structure behind it that had the black piece here off. So I don't have to do any taping off, which I hate doing. So we should be all good to go. It is sanded with 320 grit everywhere. I've done about 3 isopropyl alcohol wipe downs, and I'm probably going to do about 2 more because the cloth still comes off dirty, and I want to make sure that it is perfectly clean. And I have the Rust-Oleum paint in front of the heater to help kind of thin it out and lay a little bit smoother. And then we will be good to start laying down the first layer. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw you guys on this tripod here, and then it'll be a little bit easier for me to update you guys on what's going on, because I don't want to have to film in between all of the different painting processes, because I'll have to have my mask on and I don't want to mess up the timing on anything. So I might do a few time lapses or just some updates in between coats. Another thing I'm going to do is take this water here, and I actually grabbed the wrong bottle. This is not water, but you get what I mean. I have a spray bottle over there, and I'm going to spray down like this tarp here and all of the ones on the ground with water, and that will help the overspray and the dust of the paint floating around in the air. It'll kind of help stick to it and keep it out of the air and from landing back on the part and kind of making it dusty and have worse of a finish on it. And then I also have 3 fans that are going to be ventilating out of the garage to try to keep the dust out of here and keep it nice and ventilated. So that's the first 2 coats of white, and that used the whole can, which is a little bit more than I thought. I thought I could get 3 coats out of it, so hopefully the small cans of color match paint are enough to actually cover it and get the right color on there. And then hopefully the two cans of clear should be good to get the whole thing with a nice thick coat of clear. Alright, I got all of the white coats done, so now it is time for the clear. So the last coat of clear is on. It looks pretty good. There's several speckles in it. There's a few runs and pretty bad orange peel, but I'm gonna let it dry, and then hopefully these I guess 3 or 4 coats of clear will look a little bit better when polished, and I'll wet sand out some of the marks in it, and it should look pretty good. And since I drive the car a lot, it gets lots of rock chips and bugs and possibly cones and whatnot from autocross, so it beats paying almost $1,000 for a bumper repaint. So I don't know if I'll wrap the video up here. I will probably finish the video up whenever I get the bumper put back on, but I think I'm going to buy a new grill and some new fog light surrounds, just because I want to go back to how just a new OEM look with nice fresh stuff that's not damaged, and we should look pretty good. And then since that Ford badge is gone, I'm just going to replace it with the carbon fiber one, and we should be good to go. So I'll finish out this video whenever this whole bumper project is done. So I'm just going to go ahead and end this video here. I realize it's going to be a while before I get the grill in, so I'm going to order a new one, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this bottom piece here because my repair job doesn't look good, so it'll be a while before it ends back up on the car, because I'm also going to design the new splitter with it and everything. So I mean, this is what it looks like. It's dried for about 2 days now, and you can see it's got some pretty decent orange peel, so it will need to be wet sanded and polished if I decide it looks bad enough, or I might just leave it. But that is what it looks like, and that is about it for this video. I would say it's probably worth it for the saved money on something like the bumper that isn't guaranteed to stay perfect, so it's not like an essential part of the car. But please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.